All right, good afternoon. I'm Staff Sergeant Stednick, and I'm here today to present my business proposal for DCMT. So our objectives, we're going to go ahead and review the problem associated with our organization. We're going to analyze evidence-based data collection on the organizational problem. We're going to identify proposed solutions to the organizational problem. We're going to go ahead and review details on the implementation process, and we're going to go ahead and review methods of measuring success, all right? So, the organizational problem. What is affecting our organization at this point? The Department of Combat Medic Training currently has a problem with the updating process of point of instruction, so POI, okay? We are not getting updated POI in enough time in order to successfully train our soldiers, all right? The education and instruction we currently teach is not the most updated material, guidelines, and practices we can provide to our students. The current educational materials are outdated, and the approving authority is too extensive and vertical. Problem data collection number 1. So, this is an instructor survey conducted over 50% of our employees in our organization, and they have shown, all right, that 70% of employees feel that there is a problem with POI. All right, the leadership hierarchy is too vertical, and as well as the POI still supports our stakeholders. All right, POI updating contributes to the morale and relationships between employees, leaderships, and the organization. 70% of employees trust leadership in making the right decisions. All right, over 50% employees feel that POI is not current to the guidelines that we teach or that we're supposed to understand. Over 70% of employees feel that POI does not get updated at a reasonable rate or on schedule. And then over 70% feel that the hierarchy of leadership, the approving authority of our POI, is too vertical, meaning that it's too extensive and that it takes a while for each one to get processed. Problem data collection number 2. So this was a leadership questionnaire conducted on 50% of the leadership within our organization. All right, and as you can see, it's the same questions as what we did within instructors. However, this is just coming from a staff level leadership level. So the results based on this was that 100% of leadership agrees that POI does not get updated at a reasonable rate. 100% of leadership feels that POI is not current to our guidelines. All right, 65% agree that POI updates are not based on a schedule and that leadership does support change, however. And then over 65% of leadership feels that POI updating affects morale in the workplace. And that right there is the problem. If we do not have instructors, we do not have students, as well as leadership, have good morale and work ethics, we are going to fail in the long run. All right, proposed solutions of going digital. So this is one of the solutions that we have proposed that is going to fix this problem, and that is going digital, okay? So we're going to assign each student a laptop. All right, students can access the most current POI, study materials, exams, and important documents. All right, it's going to save money and it's going to save time. All right, saves the environment. 237 trees a year that we are going to save. So not only are we helping our organization out, but we are helping the world effort to go environmentally green. All right, it's going to promote faster POI updating, which is the intent. Promotes better adaptability with younger and more tech-savvy generation. As you guys can see, that our younger generation is more adaptive to technology, whereas our generation is more adapted to actually cracking open the books. By giving them laptops, by giving them digital material, they will learn at a faster rate, and we will entertain their ability to learn that way. And it's going to be lightweight. No more carrying around books, materials, losing them, getting them wet. We will have a laptop for each student, and they'll be able to access multiple things at one time instead of cracking open multiple books at one time. So here's the cost analysis of going digital. So in a 5-year period, our organization is going to save over $275,000 by switching to laptops. It's going to be an easily managed budget. No more buying in bulk, no more having to see how many students we have per year, because we are already going to have the study material, already have the digital material. And there's going to be no waste of supplies. So after 6 weeks, your students are not going to go ahead and throw out those books. No, they're going to go ahead and hand back those laptops and move on to bigger and better things. So as you can see right here, the cost of a year to train 300 soldiers is around $83,000. Whereas the cost of 300 soldiers to provide them a laptop for 6 weeks is going to be $500. Now, therefore, since it's a laptop, all right, and it's not a non-durable where it's not going to waste, we're going to be able to keep that laptop for about 5 years, okay, until it needs to be updated or processed and turned in for repairs and stuff. So over a 5-year period, instead of spending $83,000 a year on paper material wasting supplies, we're going to spend only $150,000 over those 5 years and save money, save time, save the world, all right? Proposed solution to flattening approval authority. So this is another big issue that we are going to go ahead and make sure that POI is updating, is that our systems are too extensive and we have too much of a hierarchy of leadership that approval takes time, money, all right? So this way we're gonna have faster POI updates. We're not gonna waste, all right? We're not gonna wait for the STP board, all right, to approve updates. So right now, currently the STP board updates every 2 years. They convene with a bunch of NCOs, they sit down and they go over common tasks. All right, it's not going to happen anymore. We're going to go off the TC3 guidelines and update them on a regular basis. All right, we're going to create a schedule for POI updates. So not only just the 2 years or whenever we feel like, it's actually going to be a schedule, which is going to be once every 6 months. All right, and 100% of the leadership feel that a flattened hierarchy of leadership would contribute to faster POI updating. So if our employees are saying it and our staff level leadership is saying it, we obviously have a problem with our system right now, and this is going to be the solutions. So as you can see, the timeline for the proposed POI updating. So as of right now, in the orange is the TC3 updates, all right? And that's what we want to propose. As you can see, we want to propose it 2 years, we want to update 2 times every year, all right? Every fiscal year. Whereas right now, currently our system is the STB board, it updates 1 time every 2 years. But as you can see, from 2009 to 2013, there was never any update. So we missed 2 years of updating and we failed our soldiers at this point, all right? So this is why we want to get us on a schedule, use TC3 guidelines as updating, and completely go over the STB board until it's time for them to convene, all right? So what our employees say about solutions. So here are 2 questionnaires that we conducted, once again, over 50% of the leadership and 20% of the employees, of what they feel that the solutions are. And 100% and 80% agree, 100% of leadership, 80% of employees agree that flattening the hierarchy of leadership by going to our own system will go ahead and solve the solution. 65% of leadership believe that going digital is going to be the solution to this problem, all right? Implementation of solutions. So how are we going to implement our solutions into our organization and prepare for success? So the implementation period will be conducted over a period of 1 year. So we're going to give ourselves 1 year to do this. All right, the first step is to notify the chain of command and stakeholders of approved changes. So not only notify you guys, but we're going to notify everyone else, all right, and the approving authority. We're going to create a new committee and approval unit for POI updating comprised of personnel from the STB board, Department of Combat Medic Training, Department of Combat Medic Education, and Tactical Combat Casualty Care. So instead of just going based off the STB board, we're now going to take leaders and heads from all those different sections and compile them up and update them, all right? We're going to conduct a budget review and allocate funds for digital materials. So we only need to allocate funds for $150,000 to go digital, okay? That's it. That's all we need up front. So that's almost twice as much as what we spend a year just on 300 students, okay? We're going to stop ordering paperback materials for the fiscal year and start eliminating them over the lower on-hand inventory, okay? So right now we have such a high inventory of paperback materials, it prevents us from updating the POI because we're going to be wasting paper books, okay? We're wasting 3 books every time we do a POI update, whereas simply we could just click a button on our computers and boom, we have the updated POI. All right, and then we're going to conduct training with instructors and IT divisions on equipment. That's going to take about 6 months to get the instructors, the leadership familiar with the systems, all right, get our IT divisions on board so any type of problems run down along the way, we're going to go ahead and fix that, all right, because our leadership, our employees, our instructors need to go ahead and understand the equipment that they're going to be training the students on, okay? So we're going to implement this no longer than a year, 6 months to get rid of all the books, 6 months to train up, and then we got it, all right? So, measuring effectiveness. How are we going to measure effectiveness if this solution is working or not? So first, we're going to use quantitative methods. And this is going to conduct annual cost analysis on digital materials versus paperback materials. And you've already seen the data that we're going to be saving over 5 years. We're going to be saving over $275,000. We're going to be saving trees. We're going to be doing all this. So that right there is already kind of gave us some data collection, right? But we're going to further collect it and see what the actual residual costs are, okay? We're going to compare and contrast student evaluations, grades, physical performance from past classes. So we're going to compare the past classes with paperback material, and then we're going to compare our current and future classes with using digital material, all right? We're going to have a timeline created to compare updates based on schedule and board meetings. So like you saw there before, the TC3 updates versus the STP updates, all right? We're going to continue that timeline and see how effective it is, all right? Our qualitative methods, how we're going to go ahead and measure those, is we're going to conduct questionnaires from employee, leadership, stakeholders, and students. So just like we've done before, but we're going to extend the research out to casualties treated in war, doctors who medics work underneath them, the family members, all right? See if our quality of care is getting better. See if our quality of instruction is improving. We're then going to go ahead, question based off of morale, the workplace, quality of work, and preparedness, okay? So we're going to talk to instructors and leadership and see how well the POI updating process works and see if that's going to bring up the morale of our work environment, okay? And then we're going to conduct instructional sit-ins to monitor atmosphere and learning environment. So leaders like myself and you others, we're going to get down and dirty into the classrooms and see how well the students are learning. All right, what's the quality of their learning when they're using digital material versus paper material? Does anyone have any questions at this time? All right, and then here's your references. All right, thank you. Once again, I'm Staff Sergeant Stednick, and this was my business proposal on DCMT.